I was born on a Wednesday when the moon hung low over the sea. They named me Akua, as is our tradition for girls born midweek. My mother says Wednesday children are messengers between worlds, the seen and unseen, the past and future. My brother Kwame was born on Saturday, a day that brings forth leaders. Father sometimes calls him Insoroma, our star, hoping he will guide us to better waters. But it is sometimes the smallest fish that know the deepest currents. Each morning before the sun appears, I help mother prepare for the day. While father and Kwame ready the boats, we kindle the smoking fires and prepare the baskets. The men bring from the sea. We transform their catch into food that lasts, into money that feeds. But lately, the baskets remain half empty. Mother says, Aikuya, today we must make 3 fish stretch like 30. Her hands, cracked from salt and smoke, work miracles with so little. I watch her separating what little meat remains from bone, preserving even the smallest pieces. Nothing is wasted when hunger draws close. From our doorway, I listen to the men's stories when they return. Kwame tells me about the foreign trawlers with their massive nets that he sees on the horizon. They take everything, sister, he whispers as we help unload the meager catch. Father and the other fishermen speak angrily of how these massive ships come at night with their bright lights, stealing tomorrow's fish, leaving nothing for those who have always lived by the sea's mercy. The women talk while we work. Words flow like the smoke from our kilns, carrying stories, worries, and sometimes hope. One day I overheard Auntie Efua say, the chief fisherman went to Accra to speak with government officials, but returned with empty hands and a heavier heart. Mother nodded, her eyes fixed on the thin strips of mackerel she was arranging over the smoking rack. At school, my teacher showed us pictures of fish I've never seen in our village. Massive tuna, snapper with scales that gleamed like precious metals. These used to fill our waters, she said, her voice soft with memory. When I asked where they went, she paused before answering. Progress takes many forms, Akua. Not all of them kind. Last week, when the catch was especially poor, I found mother crying behind our house. Not loudly. Women like her don't have that luxury. Just silent tears that carve paths through the smoke dust on her cheeks. I pretended not to see and brought her water instead. That night she taught me to mend the drying mats with even less material than before. Kwame dreams of sailing further out, of finding where the fish have gone. Father listens to the elders who say we must honor the old ways, make proper offerings to the sea gods. I've watched him at dawn, standing at the shoreline with small gifts, cola nuts, a splash of palm wine, whispered prayers, asking the gods of water and abundance to return the fish to our nets. But I've heard the Women's Council speaking of different solutions, community freezers to store what little we catch, new methods of preservation, ways to demand better prices at market. While my brother watches the horizon, I watch the women's hands. There is wisdom in their fingers that has sustained us through generations of hardship. When mother teaches me to smoke fish just right, not too dry, not too moist, she is passing down more than a skill. She is teaching me survival. Sometimes I collect the fish scales that shimmer like tiny mirrors. I press them between the pages of my school notebook, saving them as proof that beauty exists even in scarcity. My teacher says that in science class next year, we will learn why the fish are disappearing and what might bring them back. Until then, I listen to both worlds, the Men's Council with their appeals to the sea gods and government, and the women's quiet revolution of adaptation. At night, when Kwame whispers his dreams of finding new fishing grounds, I tell him about mother's ideas for smoking different foods to sell when fish are scarce. He speaks of navigating by stars. I speak of navigating through hunger. We are two sides of the same story, born of sea salt and starlight, facing a future as uncertain as the changing tides. But perhaps that is why we need both, those who sail outward and those who preserve what remains, those who dream of stars and those who tend the hearth fires below them. This is my story, woven between my brother's nets and my mother's smoking fires, and it too has just begun.